Hello and welcome everyone. I'm Nancy. I'm going to be your host today at Esports 101, a show devoted to talking about careers in esports. Before I introduce our very special guest, I would like to welcome my co-host Luca. So hi Luca.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to our podcast. It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
That's great. I'm very excited as well. Now I'm going to talk about our very special guest. We're talking to Nicole Choi. She's the MENA Partnership Lead at Gen.G Esports, and it's a very complicated position to be in, but she's going to explain everything about it for us. She's also the person behind Gen.G's entire strategy for expanding to the MENA region. So, hello, Nicole. Welcome.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. But just one little correction here. So
Oh,
now we just had a little organization change, and then I'm currently the global partnership lead for
oh,
business
okay.
development team. Yeah. So, but
Okay.
then I can definitely talk about the MENA expansion as well. Yeah.
No, that's okay. If we want to talk globally, I think that's even better. Do you mind if I say it again? Introduce
Sh-
you again with your new.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like the global partnership lead, right?
It's more like a business development for global partnership. Yeah. Global
Business
part.
developed for a global partnership.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys pretend you didn't hear anything. I'm gonna introduce a very special guest again. Today we're talking to someone who is redefining what a career in esports can look like. Our guest is Nicole Choi. She's the global business lead. That's
Yes.
almost that.
That's
Change the
that's what I
esports.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. She's gonna tell us a bit more about her career in esports and what does she do. Nicole, welcome.
Thank you so much. Yeah. I'm excited for
So,
this.
so Nicole, can you tell us a little about what actually you do in Gen.G?
Sure. So as I said, we just had a little organization change about 2 weeks ago. So I'm,
Oh, okay.
but then right before this, I was kind of in charge of expanding our office in MENA, especially in Saudi Arabia and also in UAE. But currently I'm kind of overseeing the global business for our education business. So I'm pretty sure you have heard, or if you have not, Gen.G Esports actually have education called Gen.G Global Academy, and then. Our education system actually started in Korea, and my job is to actually provide our current offering to the global audience. Yeah.
So I believe this initiative is amazing, this Global Academy. I checked one of your interviews at EWC and I
Okay.
was
It was a little embarrassing.
absolutely amazed. It is amazing. So can you tell us a little bit of how does it work in the classes and how do you gather students and everything, how the
Sure.
process works?
Yeah, sure. So I guess we can really say that we are one of the kind. So our programs can kind of divide into four different programs. The first one, I'm going to be talking about the school program. I don't know if you ever heard, there's actually an esports specialized high school.
No,
So
I did not know that.
Yes, so we have one at Gen.G. So it's actually located in Korea, and I believe we are opening up for global students from next year. But this our students actually get taught, English, math, and also let's say that they have to take music, they would take game music. If it's art, it'll be game design. So we make sure that everything is esports and gaming integrated to our in our high school. And at the end, students actually get a US high school diploma. And what we do, we actually help them get either connected to professional teams or make sure that, they go on to university, mostly in the US as an esports scholarship and esports athlete. Yeah.
You actually mentioned something like that in the interview I watched. So I don't know why I was so surprised, but when you started explaining, I was, oh yeah, she mentioned that.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
amazing what you guys do there. Uh, but I was wondering, how do you, where does this idea come from to join high school with esports?
Right. So we actually, our general manager, he's very famous in the esports field in Korea, and he got actually a lot of calls from the parents. And then it wasn't, and then some parents were like, "Oh, hey, like, can my son try out at Gen.G? And can you actually tell him that no, like, he will never make it?" To actually kind of shut down the dream. But I think what we saw as an esports organization in the beginning, we actually saw that we need to support these students. And a lot of times these students are really not really getting along at school. They're playing games a lot of times, right? And outside of the school hour, I mean, also even during school hours sometimes, right? But then we see gaming as a talent, right? And then we see it as a career opportunity. So okay, so how can we as an esports organization help the students? I think that's how we kind of started thinking about it. And then school program actually was one of the first project that we did, and it's pretty successful right now. But then we also realized that there's a lot of other students who cannot just give up on their school, right? They still have to go to school. So what kind of other education offering can we provide? How about for college students, and also for people who just want to get better at gaming as well? So I think we started off as in like the school program, like by the parents kind of like asking us like, how do we get there, or how do we not get there? But then we started expanding more and more. Yeah.
How was it for you to see this project develop in a very fast fashion, I would say?
Yes. And the question is how it was developed.
And how did you feel about seeing like this project come from just a small something that people would
Right.
use to study and practice esports, and then now it's a global initiative?
Right. I think it was because I would say that it was a key that was missing. I think everybody saw gaming and also not just esports but gaming as like the new. It was always with us, right? But they really never thought of it as a career. But as soon as we kind of unlocked that with the key, I think we were able to see a lot of potential in our education offerings. Yeah, and I believe another thing that I think what we've been seeing recently, and then like there was a news article actually about our PR article that we actually partnered with 13 different universities in the U.S. to have U.S. students coming to Korea as part of their collegiate, like kind of like a study abroad program, right? So I think we were seeing more and more demand for the education, esports education especially, but also like I think the most important thing was like, yes, it connects to the career. Yeah.
Well, and you've managed to align Gen.G work with Saudi Vision 2030. How do you take something as huge as a national development plan and connect it to esports?
Yeah. Um, That's a very specific question, and I love it. Yeah. As part of Vision 2030, there's actually something called National Gaming and Esports Strategy that is done by, uh, yeah, that is made from Saudi Arabia, right? And then I think Saudi Arabia is one of the countries, like, especially with Esports World Cup and Esports Nations Cup announcing, there's like, Saudi is moving rapidly towards esports. And one thing that Gen.G was successfully able to do is to work with Saudi Esports Federation because they wanted to actually establish a Saudi Esports Academy specific that is for the citizens of Saudi Arabia. And one of the ways that we actually work with them is to actually provide course offerings to become professionals at these major events. For example, like there weren't any, like even for us, like we were starting our first time in like 2000, uh, about yeah, about 2019, we started our first esports academy, right? And then so this concept of esports academy is very new. So I think one of the things that Saudi did really well, and I think our team we're very proud of, is that we're actually working with the Saudi government to make sure that we have the skilled commentators and like broadcasters and like tournament organizers that can actually be working in Saudi Arabia for Saudi E League, Esports World Cup, and so on. Yeah.
So basically, you don't only teach people how to become pro players, because mostly people must look at this initiative and think, oh, I finally have the chance of becoming a professional gamer. But that's not all the esports are. There are many professions, so you have to teach everything. And does it ever happen that people start this program and find a career that has nothing to do with what they thought they would learn at first?
Absolutely, and I think that's what I love about esports, and what I love about what we're doing at Gen.G Global Academy is because I think we actually this is something that we always say we see play as a potential. A lot of students actually start being in our academy because they just simply want to play, but we actually turn that into a career opportunity. So I think I can give one really good example of one of the students at the school program. He was a professional Valorant player. He was and then he like tier 2 Valorant player. He was very very good, and then later on he realized that he's getting a lot of pressure, a lot of stress. Because win and losing.
Yeah.
So what he actually ended up doing after he graduated from my school, he actually went to a psychology major at
Oh,
university. Yeah, because he wanted to help the students who are dealing with this stress. And then right
yeah.
now I believe that he's a coach. He's a manager at one of the esports organization in Korea. Really, and I think that just like that, like you kind of come here just to play because you love playing, right, and to get coaching, but then end up realizing that hey, like, how can I turn my passion into the career path that fits with my beliefs, right?
Yeah, I love that. I was thinking about, when you mentioned this person who studied psychology after, it must have been so amazing for you to see these people grow into professionals in many areas, in many developments. Actually, I was wondering about how did you start your career in esports? Because from what I gather, you don't come from gaming at all.
No, no, no. Yeah, yeah, that is very correct. Yeah, because I think a lot of people, because I'm Korean, they think that I'll be very good at League of Legends or Valorant, when in reality, I actually play Sudoku. Yeah, so my background is just fully educational education. So I've been working in a higher education and universities basically my whole life, right? And I actually got into esports because I have simply just found it on LinkedIn, and they were actually looking for an education consultant. So Gen.G was starting this new a lot of education initiatives, and then they needed someone who can actually bring new programs to them, right? Programs that will work with this market, who understands the education system. So I think, and then my background has always been I one of the things that I did at State University in New York was to actually set up a career development center.
One of the
And
things
then
that
like
I did
I,
at
I
State
think I've been
University in New York was
really
to
really
actually set up
passionate
a
about
career
seeing
development center.
students
And
can
then
take a
like
class
I
where they can
think
come
I've
to
been
a
in New
session,
York
but
was
then
really
for
passionate
them
about
to actually
seeing
get a job at the
students
end.
can
I
take
think
a
I
class where
was
they can
always
come to a
passionate about
session,
it.
but then
And
for them to actually get a job at
luckily,
the
and I
end, I
think I'm
think
very
I was
fortunate
always
that
passionate about
Gen.G
it.
has this
And for them to
very
actually
similar
get a job
mission
at
as
the
I
end, I
did.
think I'm very fortunate
And so
that
we were able
Gen.G
to
has this
offer these
very
programs,
similar
and
mission as I did.
frankly, we have been pretty
And so we
successful
were
at
able
it.
to offer this very
Well,
similar
knock on
mission as
wood,
I
and
did.
we keep on
We have been
continuing. Yeah.
pretty successful at it.
And before you
Knock on
started
wood, and
working
we
for
keep on
Gen.G,
continuing.
you
Yeah.
founded the Career
Successful at it.
Development Center and Study in Korea, right? So
Yes.
how did that experience as kind of an academic architect prepare you for building an esports ecosystem in the Middle East?
Right. I think just my background as a whole, not just in SUNY, but I also worked at Korea University as well. And then at Korea University, I was actually working with a lot of graduate students who are in the graduate program. And so I think just seeing the students' potential, and then in Korean University, I got to meet with all the international students, probably the brightest students from all over the world who is studying in Korea. I think that helped me not only just expand in the MENA region because I was able to get the understanding of the different cultural needs, but also right now we're currently working a lot in UK and also in the European market as well. Just making sure that hey, like, and making sure that we do understand the regional needs as well. Yeah, not just the career needs, and then everything just tying in together.
Does it get very different from region to region? Do you have to develop like a specific system for this region or for this country or for this culture?
Yes, all the time. It is very, very difficult. And it's very, very different. Yeah, it is difficult as well. Yeah. But for example, in Korea, like private education is very, very common. And our
Mm.
population, about 99% of our population actually goes on to higher education, going to colleges.
Oh, okay.
I think one of the programs that, I mean, and so we have, I'm currently working on programs in India and also in Saudi Arabia. And then now we're launching some other things in Europe as well, and every region has different value in education. For example, Europe, I think, is an amazing continent, right? And they mostly offer their education programs for free, right? A lot of students actually get a stipend for going to university, versus in the US, they're spending tons and tons of money into just getting a college degree, right? So I think we have to realize that, hey, there are some cultural differences, and then, so for example, one of the things that we did in Saudi that would probably never work in Korea is that we actually offered this academy programs completely free of charge.
Oh, okay.
And then like
That's a,
and then the government obviously supported that
yeah.
initiative. Yeah, so I think just also, and so that's also what we try to do, working with different states, different governments, to help subsidize these kind of programs as well. Yeah.
So it's not only founded by Gen.G. You actually have government and institution programs. So it brings me to my next question. You're known for using B2G, B2I strategy. So can you break it down for our listeners? How does this strategy works?
Sure, sure. Um, I guess the B2G is the easiest one, right? We usually
Okay.
talk with the government to get funding for our programs. Like, I think the example that I just talked about was with Saudi Esports Academy. We actually work with Saudi Esports Federation to do so. The other thing is not B2G, it's just B2B. Is I like to call it B2B2C. And then, so we actually work with a lot of universities, where universities sometimes they actually give some scholarship for the students to be enrolled, or they would just pick top one or two students to help fund the programs. And on some other times, there's also brands who are interested in these education initiatives and helping. So we have worked with LG before, and we have also worked with cell phone companies as well, who are really into this, empowering the next generation of gamers. Yeah.
And talk about culture. Do you think that the rest of the world can get something wrong about esports scene and ambition in the Middle East?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think this is one of the questions, because I'm a strong believer in what the Saudi government is doing, because I have seen it firsthand. But I think a lot of people do ask me, hey, like, aren't they, like, frankly saying, like, sports washing? But yeah, but in my belief, from what I saw, is that they're really helping uh, just the national economy as well. Making sure that these people who are just gamers, frankly, just playing games in their home, now they're actually going to the biggest event in the world, right? Working there, showing their talents off as, like, as a tournament organizer or host or caster. And then I think without the government support like that, I don't think it would have been possible. I don't think that is a one man job, right? And then because of the kingdom culture, right, they were actually they were able to make the whole country move. Uh, and then I think we are actually seeing a lot of benefits from it as well, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and you led partnerships from both the competitive teams and the global academy. And how much like of your time is spent on educations against versus esports, or are
Yeah.
they kind of the same thing?
Yeah, so now that I'm actually on my new role, I only handle education. Yeah. But
Okay.
before I was handling one of the, like, the newest teams in MENA, and then but then mostly I think one of the things that I saw that uh the Middle East market does not have currently was the esports education. So at first we were just kind of debating, okay, is the competitive side gonna work better or the education side work better? And I think this is just my personal experience, and also I think because of my background, I saw a lot more potential in, working with universities or working with government for these educational roles. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about the biggest challenge you had to face in this position, or even in Gen.G, if you want to talk about esports, but in general, in your career? What's the biggest challenge you had to face?
Biggest challenge that I have to face. I love all the challenges though.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, because if it's not challenging, then I don't think it's fun. Yeah. But yes, I think the biggest challenge has been making sure that our education products are working smoothly in every single country. Like for example, we wanted, one of the partnerships that we have is a partnership with India. And then just to frankly say, the pricing that works in the Korean market and the US market versus Southeast Asia and India is completely different. So, and then obviously the pricing of that will matter into the quality as well. So I think one
Yeah.
of the things that as a Korean org and also an education org, we have to make sure that the quality of education that we bring in is almost the best. So just making sure that we are recognizing the local needs. I think that has been the most challenging part, to make sure that we are bringing at the top quality as much as possible in that region. Yeah. So I think that was one of the biggest challenge. But since we have ever since last year, we have been actually doing this model called training the instructors. So it's gonna cost us for us to be flying our instructors out to India or Saudi or US, UK. But one of the things that we actually realized, hey, like instead of us flying these our instructors, why don't we actually train the local people to become our instructors? And then I think we are solving that puzzle little by little, with the issue of okay, then what is the price range? What is the salary structure is gonna work, right? So yeah, I think that has been the most challenging part, but also the most rewarding as well. Yeah.
That's amazing. You actually reminded of me of a poem we have here in Brazil that
Okay.
says like because you say you love challenges, and it's
Yeah.
like rocks, every rock in my way, I gather them, I catch them, and I build a castle.
Okay.
So it's just something
That's
that you,
beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
right? I thought
Yeah.
you would like it. I was gonna ask you if you, in your everyday, is it something that you thought would happen? You have to teach teachers how to teach esports?
um So I'm gonna take a little story back to
Okay.
my college years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So okay. I was always passionate about people, about just helping people how to get there. So my major was actually in human development. So I got to learn about how people change from their birth to death, right? And then the reason why I wanted to work at universities was because I thought that through through university programs, that is where students actually find their true path in their careers, right? So and then I also and my other masters so I have one master in higher education administration and public administration, meaning I wanted to work at university and actually work with government to get government grants to help support university to find the right career programs. So I think if I just think about my history and where I became now, I think everything kind of like it was directionally correct. Maybe every step in the way was a little bit different, dabbling on different things. But and I don't think I have ever expected to work in esports.
Yeah.
To be fair, yeah, because I told you I play like roller coaster tycoon, Sudoku. So, but I think my belief has always been the same, and I'm really glad that in the world of the esports, like I don't think there's a lot of people like myself who come from a just straight up education background, and I'm really glad that I'm actually doing something to support this ecosystem.
And thinking back to your time in university administration, completely outside of gaming, what is one like known esports skill from that job that has been like surprisingly critical to your success as at Gen.G?
Uh, e- uh, for your question, non-esports related skills or esports related skills?
No, non-esports. Yeah.
Okay. I think just simply communication and also empathy. I think every student has different needs. Just like every region has different needs, and so how do we make sure that the system will work for every single students, right? Um, so, and then in order to do that, student has to communicate with you, and then you have to communicate to the teachers. Teachers have to communicate with the students. So making sure that everybody is communicating um, clearly, and also and then that everybody is communicating together. I think that's very important. And the reason why I said empathy is because the students also, the teachers have to empathize the students, where they are at. Let's say that one student is falling behind, you have to recognize, okay, what are the obstacles that they have, what are the rocks in front of them that is kind of um that is hindering them, right? So I think these two skills, I know it's very, very generic, but I think it is most critical right now. And then I think it also relates to esports as well, right? When you're in map, like how are you communicating with the other players to get to the same goal, right? So
That's awesome. So, if a student comes to you today and says, I love esports, but I'm not a pro player, how do I get a career like yours? What is the one sentence piece of advice you give them?
I would say find what you are good at. Uh, and then I think it can naturally tie into esports. So making sure that, but then, so don't follow everybody else's path. Make your own path. So let's say that is you're really you think you're very talented in marketing, right? Making sure that you're creating these posters that are really speaking to the audiences, then you can find a path in that, right? But I don't think that you have to, there's a set plan for anyone. It's like, it's about what you making and how do you actually excel out of other 100 different applicants or students, right? So, and just making sure that you find your true self so that you can succeed, right?
And we see all the big tournament wins, but your work it's about building something different. What has been you the most rewarding personal moment or proudest achievement so far in building these new education programs?
The proudest moments. Proudest moments is when students actually message me saying that they landed a job. I think that's the proudest moment. Like, and then like, and it can be like for example, for one of the course that we did was esports coaching, right? So we in Saudi Arabia, and then he actually became a coach for one of the, not the top tier teams, but then like tier B teams. And then him just messaging me that, hey, like, the course that you brought on has been so helpful, and I have been managing my team well. And just hearing these messages is just so heartwarming. And like, and I'll also tell you another project that I've done. So we have this program, we have this study abroad program where students from all over the world actually come to Gen.G HQ in Seoul to actually experience firsthand and how does it actually work, how does it look like to actually work in esports, right? So so my group actually worked with me on ideation for a project for Esports World Cup, right? And then so so we had to do like a branding for Gen.G image, right? And then so these students came up with really, really great ideas about how we can engage international fans, right? And then luckily they actually got to fly out to see the booth that they designed in Korea. And then they saw it in Saudi Arabia, and it's just seeing it firsthand. And like they're like, yes, like this was in your PowerPoint, but now you're actually seeing in person. Uh, just seeing that just tangible growth in students, it has been the most rewarding thing.
That's amazing. And speaking about that, I have to ask, do you have any plans to expand globally like an international institution when you can watch classes online? You don't have to be there in
Right.
person.
Yes. So we actually currently do, but then it's not as well known. But one thing that we are
Oh,
trying to do for next year, hence this is the reason why I'm in my role now, is to actually try to expand globally. So, for example,
nice.
we are trying to offer this course called Global EMT, like Esports Master Track, where students get to learn about the esports ecosystem, marketing, business behind it, and then for fully online as well. And so that I think one of the things that we want to do is really show that, hey, like esports is a career path, like, and then like I know that you guys love playing gaming, but then you can actually you know find a career opportunity, and then we will be there to help you reach your potential. Uh, so stay tuned.
No, I can't wait. Our host, actually, the one behind the camera, was actually very curious about this one, so I had
Okay,
to ask
okay.
early. Yeah, I'm very interested as well. As soon as possible, please let us know, okay?
Yes, yes, yeah.
And I would like to know what one business lesson you think the esports industry in general still needs to learn.
Okay, this is okay. Sustainability. Yeah. So like making sure that, hey, like we're not just looking at right now and the right now current players, are we winning or not, but are we looking at even just 5 years down the road, or are we looking at what is sustainable like 10 years down the road? I think a lot of people noticed that, hey, like there was this esports boom, and then the organization kind of grew too quickly, or the ecosystem kind of grew too quickly, that and then there was esports winter as well, right? And I hope that everybody, including myself, can kind of learn from that lesson, and making sure that, hey, like let's not just look at the tangible, um, just like right now revenue opportunity, but about how we can actually sustain this ecosystem, and like hence like are we actually like putting right enough resources for the future as well.
And what do you see next in your career, in your future? Because now you have this very big and important job. But how do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself?
Where do I see myself in 5 years? Huh. I would love, rather than me, I think I can talk from Gen.G. I think I would love if Gen.G, because right now it is very fortunate, but also unfortunate that people know us as a just esports organization, the like the best League of Legends team, right? But I hope that people can view Gen.G as a place where you come to test out your potential, right? Like, and then that our academy is more well known. Let's say that you want to have a career in gaming or game development, Gen.G is a place to go. I would love for that to happen. Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, we are nearing the end of the program. But before that, I would like to ask for people who want to work in esports, but not necessarily as players, what is the most valuable skill that they should develop today? And what advice would you give to someone who works in esports and would like to work for an international company like yours? Like yours?
Very basic again in my answer is going to be just work a lot on your presentation skills and also communication skills. And like you don't have to be too knowledgeable in gaming. I mean, gaming, it really helps. Like on my interview, before my interview, I had to play League of Legends for a very long time, because I wanted to understand the students, right? I wanted to understand the players. Yes, that is important, but what is more important is like, how do you actually deliver your passion, deliver what you're thinking to someone else, right? So I think that is the most important thing. Yeah. And also just reach out on LinkedIn. Let's say that there's a person with the job that you want, just talk to the person, and then ask like, how did you get there? And I think this is the advice that I tell all the other students as well. Look for the job opportunity that you want, and then you will see all the like responsibilities, and also like what kind of people they're looking for. Make sure that you're actually working towards filling the box first. Then you are gonna become the ideal candidate for the job. Yeah.
Nicole, thank you so much for your amazing. Your history is very inspirational. You're very successful, and I love to see women who have successful careers in esports. Even if you don't have an esports background, you're now one of us, so welcome. And I would like to ask you if there's anything you would like to say for people who are starting their careers in esports, or a message you want to leave us with, or anything
Sure.
we didn't cover in this interview. You are now
Yeah.
free to go.
Yeah. I think what I want to say, especially in the esports, but then it's for all the I think other industry as well. I think now like because of the internet, and technology, being international is very, very important. So I would really want to suggest, like, hey, like, not even just in our Gen.G programs, but then like try to go abroad to broaden your perspective. Yeah, don't be just stuck where you are at in your computer, but like go outside, like, go to the League of Legends game in China, or like go try other things in UK. I think those different things, and realize that different cultures and how you work in esports will help you grow. So
Thank you. That's amazing. Thank you, Luca, for co-hosting this Esports 101 episode. It was very nice to have Nicole with us. Thank you once again, Nicole, for sharing your history and your path with us. Once again, I was very inspired, and I'm very much looking forward to studying in your next online course. Can't wait. Thank you so